Mother's burden. Lydia liked this corner of the park because no one ever bothered her. A bench under a plane tree, a paperback, the smell of cut grass. It was the closest thing she had to quiet. Her partner Ruth was at work. She had kissed Lydia goodbye that morning, promising to be home by 6. The day was warm. The world was ordinary. So when the woman with the pram stopped in front of her, it took a moment for the interruption to register. "Sorry, love," the woman said, breathless. "Could you watch the baby for a minute? Just a minute. I need the loo." Before Lydia could answer, the woman pushed the pram toward her. Reflex made her reach out, her hands closed around the handle. "Just a minute," the woman repeated, already walking away. Lydia waited. 5 minutes. 10. 20. The woman never returned. She called the police. They came quickly, took statements, searched the park, and then the officer said the sentence that made Lydia's stomach drop. "You should take the baby home for now." "What? No, she's not mine." The officer frowned, confused. "You're holding him. You said you were waiting for your partner to join you." "I didn't say that." "You did." Lydia knew she hadn't, but the officer's expression was soft, patient, the way people look at someone who's overwhelmed. Ruth arrived an hour later, pale and frantic, until she stepped close to the pram. Then her face changed. "Oh," Ruth breathed. "Look at her." "Ruth," Lydia whispered. "This isn't our baby." Ruth blinked, baffled. "Of course it is." The baby didn't cry. That was the first wrong thing. They lay in the cot Lydia had hastily assembled, staring upward with dark, unfocused eyes. Lydia couldn't have said what colour those eyes were, or the hair, or even the shape of the face. Every time she looked, the details slipped away. When they tried to feed her formula, the baby turned their head aside. "He's hungry," Ruth said, voice thick with certainty. "He needs you." "She's a girl," Lydia said automatically. "Of course she is," Ruth murmured without missing a beat. They tried again. Formula, different bottle, warm, cool, room temperature. The baby refused all of it with eerie calm. Then, as Lydia leaned over the cot, she felt something strange, a spreading warmth across her chest, a heaviness, a dampness. She looked down. 2 dark patches were blooming through her shirt. Her breath caught. "Ruth, something's wrong." Ruth's eyes widened, but only for a moment. As she stepped closer to the baby, her expression softened into something dreamy, almost proud. "Oh," Ruth whispered, "you're producing. That's wonderful." "It's not," Lydia said, voice shaking. "It's impossible." But Ruth didn't hear her anymore. The baby was watching them both with serene expectation. That night, the baby fed for the first time. There was no pain, just a deep pulling sensation, like warmth being siphoned out of her. Her limbs grew heavy, her vision blurred. When it was over, she slumped sideways, trembling, cold. The baby looked content. Lydia could not have described their face. 3 days in, Ruth woke with damp patches on her own shirt. "I think I'm producing too," she said, dazed. "Isn't that amazing?" "It's not amazing," Lydia whispered. "It's the same thing happening to you." Ruth didn't hear her, or wouldn't. When the baby fed from Ruth, her face went slack, drained of colour, her eyes unfocused. She stopped responding to her name. It was like watching someone slip underwater. But when the baby finished, Ruth blinked, smiled and said, "He's such a good little one." "She's a girl," Lydia said. "Of course she is," Ruth replied, without noticing the contradiction. Lydia tried to picture the baby's face. She couldn't. On the 4th day, Lydia realised something else. The nappy was always dry. Always. She checked the bin. No used nappies. Checked the baby. Clean, scentless, unchanged. "Ruth," she whispered, "have you been changing?" "Of course," Ruth said, though she couldn't say when, or how often, or where the nappies had gone. Lydia felt a coldness settle in her chest. Babies ate. Babies produced waste. This one didn't. And yet everyone else treated that as normal. Away from the baby, people were horrified. Her sister on the phone. "A stranger left a baby with you? That's insane. I'm coming over." Her sister in the doorway, within the baby's influence. "Why are you making such a fuss? You've always wanted this." Her GP on the phone. "Spontaneous lactation? That's something we need to check urgently." Her GP in the exam room, baby in the carrier. The doctor didn't even look inside the pram, didn't ask to hold the baby, didn't check vitals. "What a handsome boy," the GP said absently. "She's a girl," Lydia said. The GP frowned mildly. "Are they?" Then moved on without waiting for an answer. Social services came once. They took one look, or rather didn't look, and said, "They're clearly bonded to you. Removing them would be traumatic." Lydia screamed at them to take the child. They smiled gently and left. She stopped sleeping. The baby fed more often. Each time she felt herself thinning, like paper worn by too many hands. Her hands shook when she tried to make tea. Her reflection looked thinner every day. One night, she found Ruth standing in the kitchen, swaying, the baby at her chest. Ruth's eyes were empty, her skin was grey. "Stop," Lydia whispered. "Please stop." Ruth didn't react. The baby turned their head and looked at Lydia. Their face was a blur, a suggestion of features, a placeholder. She realised then, the baby didn't need love, it needed caretakers, it needed hosts, and it would keep them both until they were hollow, unless she passed it on. Lydia drove until she found a park she didn't recognise, a strip of grass, a few benches, a woman sitting alone beneath a lime tree with a coffee and a paperback. Her legs felt unsteady as she lifted the carrier from the passenger seat. The baby inside was heavy, or she was weak. She crossed the path. The woman looked up, polite, faintly curious. Lydia forced her mouth into something like a smile. "Could you watch her for a minute?" she said, offering the carrier forward. The woman reached out automatically, her hands closed around the handle. "Of course." Lydia let go. The weight left her arms. The fog thinned. Air returned to her lungs. She turned and walked away, steady, casual, natural, not looking back, fighting the urge to break into a run.